Why is this important to you, like, to know what brings people joy outside of work? Like, how did that come to you?
Yeah, absolutely. So always wanted to focus in on the life-work balance. Is very hard for me, right? I mean, I think for all of us to really truly balance, but I know what to do. It's not a matter, it's just a matter of doing it. And so, you know, this segment around, you know, what brings you joy outside of work is something that I think that I need to tap into on a more regular basis. And was hoping that would be beneficial, you know, for you all. And it was. I could, you know, I could see the joy in Keely's face when she was sharing, you know, about her, right? About her joy, right? In the sewing and crafting world. And so, you know, when I was talking about things, you know, that you know, whether it's protein or whatever, or even having you all here, you know, with me today is like bringing me joy, right? I'm very relaxed. We wanted to make sure that we were in a comfortable space, you know, to talk about these things. But I think the bottom line is that the key for me is the life comes before work. If we don't pour back into ourselves, you know, we're not going to be good for the people that we're supposed to be working for. That's the ultimate, you know, situation. And, you know, I'm now, you know, 30 years into work, well, more than 30 if you count high school, right?
Let's not count those years.
Right, no count those years. But, you know, and so it's like, okay, well, I still have more to give, right? I'm not quite at the point of retirement or whatever, but at the same time, I want to balance that life piece. So all of us love to travel, right? Look at the smiles that popped on the faces when we said that, right? You know, most of us like to, I think all of us like to cook or prepare, you know, things. And so those are the things that I like to dwell upon. You know what I mean?
Those are the things that make memories too.
Oh my gosh, and I keep bringing up values because that's what it all centers on. I want to talk about what this whole entire work, not just the topic for today, but what inspired this whole work of just bringing people together just to talk about things that are meaningful in different ways. Like what inspired all of this?
It's almost like I'm gleaning from you, like we're talking about it together, but at the same time I'm listening for like, how can I add in, you know, into my world? When you have, it's a type of album where you have scrapbooking, thank you. I would do that like when Camille was younger, right? I mean, I would get all the things that I needed for it. And, you know, we're into it big time, the stickers, you know, and then I stop, right? And it's like, is that something that I want to pick back up again? Not sure. But is there something else that I would like, creativity, you know, creative-wide that I would like to do?
That's been fun to explore. I've been exploring a lot of different, so I'm writing again, reading of course. I've taken guitar lessons. I start Italian lessons tomorrow.
Well, that sounds perfect for you and your travel.
Okay, you know how much I love Italy. So I'm really big on all of that. I used to crochet. But I haven't done that in years, and I certainly can't make what you've been making. But
you can't yet. If you want to learn it, you try it and we see where it takes us. Right.
But yeah, so I get that creativity in. Just try to find out different things. It's been fun.
I have tried. I'm a creative person, and sometimes in our career we don't get as many opportunities to be creative in our work as my free-spirited self would like to be. So something I've told my students over the years is you can choose a career and be excellent at it, but for you to be your whole self, you have to develop your other hobbies and interests. I have discovered talents in adulthood that I never knew I had when I was going through schooling. So I did not start, I learned how to knit when I was in graduate school, taught myself how to crochet in my 30s, and learned sewing self-taught in my 40s. And I get excited about it because I love working with textiles. I love using my hands, and it's so different than the work that I do professionally. And the fact that I've picked up these things in adulthood shows me I could pick up something else.
There you go.
And having multiple creative hobbies means you can switch up.
I read a book and the author said, you have to pick up something while you're in your career that you're interested in, so that when you retire, you can segue right into that, and that can be your next phase.
There it is.
And I try to envision that because I've heard people say, I don't know what I'm going to do when I don't have my job.
It's important.
Either through retirement or through job loss. And I say, oh, when I'm retired, I can already imagine what my creative space is going to be and how my days are going to start.
Indeed.
I'm going to get up, go for a walk around sunrise if the weather's nice, have my favorite coffee, and be in my creative studio. Where I can spend a lot of time.
Which your creative studio might be in various parts of the world.
Absolutely.
Because I definitely see that as my next chapter.
Travel
right? Being able to, even through work, right? We've been able to travel, you know, and thinking about, wouldn't that be awesome if when we're finished working, right? To be able to live there.
Yes.
I know someone who might be interested.
I have talked about living in a different country.
But seriously, right? I mean, I see on the, I think it's called Make It, who are living off of a certain wage, and they're, you know, living in various parts of the country or the country, the U.S. Excuse me. And anyway, so I saw one recently, and it was like, I live in Greece, right? And it was pennies in comparison to what we're paying now. But that's not the most important part. Is the fact that she lives there and she's been traveling to 9 other countries. Right. You know, since she's been there, right? And that's, to me, that's joy. I can pick up and I can take my work, or I can take, or when I'm finished working, right? When I'm in a new chapter of retirement, I can go globally and just enjoy.
I agree. I love it.
Joy,
Yes. And it can take you away from the moment, or the bad weather day, or the bad day at work, or whatever complicated season you're in. It can just, but it's having your own, it's almost like I have a miniature vacation when I bake a cake. Or when I try a new recipe. So